And this has been my kitchen. Tonight on Cooking with SonicBlu, we have something very special going on. Number one, I'm making a meal that I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I don't even know what to call it, because we're going to be starting with a lot of ingredients. We're going to put them all together and see what it tastes like. You know, it's kind of like a goulash, only the only noodles that are going into it is mac and cheese noodles. The rest of it's going to be beans, meats. It's just going to be one big mess. In fact, I think that's what we should call this recipe, one big mess. But here to help us with this big mess, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's going to be helping us, somebody new to the Go Paw Pet Show. He's right over here. He's going to be this way. No, wait, just no. Where? There you are. You get over here. Okay. This is Joey, everybody.
Hello.
And this is his introduction into the kitchen of Cooking with SonicBlu and his first episode thereof. And tonight we're going to be doing some mac and cheese. That's corn that we're going to have on the side, corn on the cob. Over here we have ground turkey, a big package of it, 48 ounces worth or 2 pounds worth. 2.5 pounds or 3 pounds maybe. We got a huge thing of barbecue baked beans with beef brisket. I'm eager to try that. And we're going to put it all together and we're going to call it one big mess. Well, we'll call it something different. I mean, something better than one big mess, I think. But we'll come up with a title for it later. But right now, let's get started. First, we're going to boil our water. We're going to turn this up high and get this boiling. In this pot, we're going to be cooking our ground turkey. So let's get that going. First, we're going to put the ground turkey in it, and then we're going to turn on the heat. So that way, this will get cooking first. And while we're waiting for that water to boil, we're just going to take and toss all of this. Where's the spoons? There's our spoons. Okay, we're going to take this spoon here, and we're going to take this ground turkey right into that stock pot there.
And try not to get it all in the stock pot and not on the stove.
Yes, that would be very helpful. And we're just going to break that down.
And it will be important to know that we all washed our hands before this.
Because we, as you notice, the kitchen of Cooking with SonicBlu is much cleaner than usual. That's because we all worked our tails off to get this clean. And remember all the stockpiles of food and all that stuff we had all over here? Well, we did a thorough cleaning. I mean, it's nowhere near springtime, but we needed a thorough cleaning. So, that's boiling, that's heating up. And, no, it isn't. We forgot to turn the heat on. Let's turn this on to 6. Get this going.
Make sure we get the correct burner.
Yes, we must get the correct burner, because if you don't, then you got one burner burning and having nothing on it to burn or cook in this case.
And then it'll get very hot, and we already are dealing with enough heat as it is.
Exactly, because of our glorious heat wave.
Isn't it glorious?
Heat wave.
Isn't it glorious? I mean, come on, I've never melted this much in my life.
And while that's heating up, let's open this up and get this ready. And I want to give a good, okay, so it's sealed. Of course we're going to. Now, if you don't have access to this already pre-made barbecue bean and brisket, you can easily make this by taking some baked beans, barbecue sauce, and pieces of beef brisket and mixing it all together. And
oh my gosh, it already smells glorious.
When are we going to invent smell-o-vision?
Oh, this is so good. I could just sit here and smell this all day, folks.
But that is not what we are going to do with it.
No, we're going to actually eat it. So we're going to do a lot more than just tasting it. We're going to, or smelling it. We're going to be eating it, and we're going to be loving it.
You're right, we are going to do a lot more than just tasting it.
Yes. And I figure the best thing to season our turkey, and I was getting down all of our seasonings for this, you know, the salt, the pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, minced onions, minced garlic, thyme, paprika, and ground cumin, and mixing all that together. And then I figured, well, a lot of that and more is in this smokehouse maple, and it's got a nice maple undertaste to it. And if you can smell that, you can smell the garlic, you can smell the onion, and there's a hint of maple in here. And this is going to taste really good being mixed in with that ground turkey and then added to our barbecued beans and beef brisket. And it's going to be a meaty, beany, noodly, good meal that we can just throw together, and we're going to see how well it works. In fact, meaty, beany mac. Meaty, beany mac. Beany, meaty mac. Beany, meaty mac.
Try saying this 5 times fast.
Beany, meaty mac. Well, I think we'll work on the title a little bit, but Beany, meaty mac sounds a lot better than...
Beany meaty mac. Beany meaty mac.
There you go, okay. So, and then we're just going to throw some of this in there. Just call it that, and...
Do I need
we'll
to
just
stir
wait.
this a little bit?
Not quite yet. It's still
Heating up
trying
a
to
little
heat
bit?
up a bit.
Okay.
Maybe we should turn that up to 7, get that really going. Maybe 7.5. And then what we're going to do also is after this is done cooking and we throw all this together, once this is empty, then we're going to fill it back up again with water. We're going to start on our corn on the cob. So we're going to show you how to shuck corn on the cob if you don't know how to do it. There might be some people out there who don't know how to shuck corn. So we'll show you how to do that, because I don't think I've ever shown you how to shuck a corn cob. Now it's starting to heat up. Now you can see the steam rising. Now we're getting somewhere. So give this a good mix as the ground turkey starts to cook in there. And we're just going to give it a good stirring. So we're going to have turkey and beef and beans and mac and cheese all together, and brisket all together. So it's going to be a beany, meaty, messy, good mixture. Beany, meaty, mac mixture. Beany, meaty, mac mixture. I'm going to find so much more to add to that before the show's over, aren't I? Beany, meaty, mac mixture of melt in your mouth goodness.
Unfortunately, we don't have any cheese, but
No,
you
but
could throw cheese in there.
you could put cheese in here.
Cheesy.
You could put cheese in here. You could take all of this and top it over noodles if you want to, like spaghetti noodles, but then that would be too many noodles, and that's what the mac and cheese is in there for. So you really don't need to put it over more noodles. Just serve it as a side, and that'll be just fine.
Should I open these boxes of macaroni and cheese yet, or do you want me to wait?
We can get them open because I can see little tiny bubbles starting to form in our water, and that means that it's just starting the beginning phase of boiling.
Okay, let me hop over here. So, I've opened one box. Take the cheese packet out. Set the box aside. I'm going to use the corn as kind of a stabilizer there. And get another box open. We're doing 4 boxes of this because, well, let's just face it, you can never have enough mac and cheese.
That's right.
And most people love mac and cheese. For those of you who don't, I feel so sorry for you, and you need to get a life.
Now, would this be enough barbecue bean and brisket? Because we do have another barbecue bean and brisket in here. So should we use both tubs?
I think we should, well, let's see how this one holds up first, and
Good
then
idea.
have that one as a backup.
We'll have that as a backup. There you go. Hey, I still see a lot of pink in there, so you definitely want to wait until all of that is a light, very light brown. And you want to step away, because if you're covering the light with your shadow as you look into it, you won't tell what's pink, what's brown, and what's what. But it's starting to brown nicely. It is really starting to brown up. So we just gotta keep on mixing it, and now it's starting to crumble up like we want it. So a little bit more time in the heat there, and there's some more raw there. So while we still have some raw turkey going on in there. I'm going to try to scrape that off with a spoon, get that back into our meal, because with turkey likes to cling to bamboo when you're using a bamboo spoon, and sometimes plastic too. But raw turkey, especially raw ground turkey, loves to cling to the spoon. And so you want to get all of that raw turkey down in there. And if there's any raw turkey on your spoon, knock it back into the pot and just keep on stirring it. And if you keep your spoon in whatever it is you're cooking, then whatever is raw on the spoon is going to wind up being cooked on the spoon. So you won't have to worry about salmonella or E. coli, because it's going to share the same temperature as what it is you're cooking, because you're stirring as you're cooking.
Just make sure you don't leave the spoon in there too long or you will burn it. And I don't know how many people like burn wooden spoon in with their meat.
Yeah.
I guess not very many.
No. I don't like
More
it.
likely
I
a
don't like
plastic. Your
Oh,
plastic.
Plastic would be a lot worse.
Who likes burning plastic in their food? Not I.
I think that turkey is as good as brown can be. Let's go ahead and drain this while we're waiting for that water to boil. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to a strainer, and it's best to use a strainer, not a colander, because colander holes are much bigger than strainer holes. And strainer holes are just going to run right in there. You're going to lose a bit of meat there. But we got a strainer here with very dense holes, very small.
So remember, no colander or you will lose the meat.
That's right.
And we do not want to lose any meaty goodness.
So if you wouldn't mind holding that.
Okay, just like this, I guess?
No, with both hands on either side.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, and then what I'm going to do...
Just don't burn my arm with the pot.
No, of course not. Okay, so what I'm going to do... I'm going to try not to burn myself with the pot either. I'm going to lean forward a bit.
I'll use my arm like on this.
And I'm just going to run the grease through the strainer. I'm going to keep as much of the meat back as possible. And if some gets into the strainer, that's okay. But I just want to get the juice out of there. I just want all that grease. Or if you're Jewish, schmaltz. Schmaltz is Jewish for turkey fat. And they actually sell schmaltz by itself, because there are recipes, Jewish recipes, you can make with schmaltz. Now, I'm not Jewish, but I do know about schmaltz. Okay, so we're just going to drain as much of that juice out of there. That should be good enough.
This turkey meat smells
And then turkey
amazing.
can go back into there. And perfect. Now that can go into the sink. This can go back onto the burner. Now as we look at the bottom of our pan, we notice that all of that grease has now gone away. All that schmaltz is schmugified. I don't know if that's a word or not, but
Schmaltz is schmaltzified.
schmaltzified. That's even better.
There we go.
I like it. Now for the magic ingredients: the beans and brisket and barbecue.
Dun 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 dun!
Dump. Dun 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 dump. All of that in there.
And if you can, try and scrape out whatever's left if anything gets stuck in there, because we want all that yummy beany baked bean goodness with
All
the
that
brisket.
sauce, everything in there. I think that's as good as we can get it. There we go, perfect. Okay, that's one is done. Let's
after-
mix it in.
After this heats up, I guess we shall add our seasoning.
No, we can add it any time, but I just want to see if we need that extra. You know what? We might actually need that extra, because I see a lot more turkey and a lot less bean. So let's get that extra bean in there. This can be wonderful.
Wunderbar.
Here we go. Whoops, sorry.
Wait a minute, did you just say wunderbar after we were talking about Jewish people?
I didn't say it. Already
No,
talking to
Kiba.
our camera person.
Kiba said wunderbar.
It's Kiba. What can we say? We love Kiba.
Well,
Nine.
we also love equality as well.
Yes, we do.
And we want to make sure that we don't offend any Jewish or German people by putting them both in the same episode and referencing. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Perfect.
Luckily, we have a four-legged Roomba in the room.
Yes, by the name of Scout.
Scout. Scout,
Okay.
come here.
So that looks good. That looks good right there. But you know what? It needs more.
Scout, over here. Scout. Over here, buddy. Look.
More barbecue sauce.
As if
I
we
like
don't
it
have enough
saucy.
sauce.
I like it saucy. And since we got all that ground turkey soaking up all that barbecue sauce, I'm going to add 1 extra bottle of Bullseye Original Barbecue Sauce.
Ooh, I heard that's the good stuff.
It is. Bullseye is good sauce, and we're just going to sauce this up. That's looking perfect. Look at that. It's saucing up nicely. Just perfect. Just perfect for that ground turkey to mingle perfectly with the beans and the barbecue sauce and that brisket.
Can I get my nose in here and smell?
Get your nose in there.
Oh gosh, my mouth is now watering. I had to pull myself away
Now
before I drool into the food.
is the time to add the seasoning. So now, what we're
Yeah.
going to do, if you want to,
Okay.
you just go ahead and sprinkle, and I'll tell you when. That's good. Okay, now we're going to put this aside, stir this in, and now we just remember we only need just that seasoning because it's a mix of different seasonings, and we want to preserve the maple flavor with the other seasonings to make it taste that way, and we don't want to alter that.
Anybody up for a steam bath?
Now that water is boiling, so now let's get all of our mac and cheese into that pot. While you do that, I'm going to stir.
Okay, here we go. Whoop, whoop. And some noodles decide they don't want to be part of it. I don't care. Now,
For a little taste.
now, what we have to do
Oh my god.
is stir.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, give that a good stir and come over here and taste this.
Okay, give me just.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is good.
Just so you know, I volunteered to do this. I volunteered to cook, but I needed Sonic's help.
Okay, take your finger across that sauce.
Right here?
Yeah. And give it a taste. Your taste buds will sing hallelujah. So now I'm including Christians into this segment now. So now we talk about Jewish people and Germans and Christians all together in the same episode. We are including people of all cultures as if we were welcoming them into our happy home. And that's the way we do it here in the O Pop It Show. We welcome all cultures. We embrace all cultures. We don't need any more of this. So let's put this away with our rest of our seasonings. And we don't need anything else to go in there. No pepper, no salt, no nothing. That's perfect. We just got to wait for those noodles to boil. Got to wait for this to heat up. And then when this is done, we're going to drain the noodles, add the cheese, add the butter, add some milk, mix it together to make mac and cheese. And we're going to take the mac and cheese from there and dump it into here. So we're going to have a big pot full of all of that stuff, mix it together, and then we're going to taste it, and then we're going to serve it, and then we're going to have this corn, and we're going to rendezvous when it's all done. But we're going to step you through how we do each step. So what do you say we take a break now, wait for this to heat up, because this is now going to need to go on to a gas mark 5. So once you got everything mixed together and you're on 7, you got everything mixed together, turn it down to gas mark 5. And that's going to keep it warm but not overcook. Meanwhile, the noodles are going to need to come down to gas mark 5 as well. So that'll keep the boil going to not overcook the noodles and to make sure that they cook up nice as well, because you don't want your water to boil over. What we're going to do is going to let this cook for a while, and then when those noodles are done, we're going to show you the next step in our beany, meaty, barbecuey, melt in your mouth mess. Welcome back. And now our noodles are ready for draining. We're going to take this pot off of the stove. I'm going to raise it up. I can't drop it down because my noodles are going round and round. Okay, we're just going to wait for that to drain, 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 shake and shake, and drain and drain, and shake and shake and shake and shake and drain. Drain it all down. Okay, so tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand this off and hold this by the handles. It's not hot.
Okay.
And let the drippings drip down in the sink while I get rid of this water.
Okay.
And then I'm going to replace the water with fresh water. That way we'll get our corn going.
Be prepared to get shucked.
Back onto the burner you go. And back onto gas mark 6 you go. And now we're going to show you how to shuck corn. Let's get a bowl so that Joey is not left holding the strainer.
Notice I am still holding the strainer. Now we pour very carefully. This is gonna, there we go.
Flop.
Flop. And look at that oodly noodly goodness. And I need a spoon.
You need the spoon so that we can knock the rest of those noodles off into our pan. And we're going to take our opened butter, and we're going to take our milk.
Cooking milk. The other milk gets used for other stuff.
Dump that right in, my friend. Okay, that's good enough. Might be too much milk. Yeah, it might be too much milk, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Gonna dump our butter. Gonna need more butter than that. I'm gonna need enough, and we're gonna cut off another pane of butter, about that much. Perfect.
And the good thing is the noodles are still hot, so the butter's gonna melt at least a little bit faster.
That's right.
So do we mix the...
Start stirring very carefully.
Yes.
It's going to be a bit of a mess though, because we're going to need to fold it now, because the pan that we're using is kind of sort of
On reserve for corn.
yeah. This might make that more creamier. So that's what I'm hoping for, is a nice creamy, barbecuey, beany, meaty, mouth-watering mess.
There we go. I think we got a title. At least I hope we do.
Oodles of noodles in a beany, meaty, melt-in-your-mouth mess. Try to say that. Hey kids, we're having oodles of noodles and beany, meaty, melt-in-your-mouth mess.
Wow, you said that almost as good on the...
I practiced.
Yes. Practice makes perfect, kids. Remember that.
And our first package of cheese. Cheese powder. That is definitely powder. Okay, go ahead and fold that in. And watch the magical cheese start to appear. It'll turn ordinary, regular old mac and noodles into mac and cheese noodles in the blink of an eye. Look at how instantly it turns from plain noodles into cheesy noodles. We're ready for the next packet of cheese.
Yes, I believe we are. Let me make sure all these noodles are...
Goodly and noodly and cheesy and goody.
Well, that and I want to make sure
yeah.
they stay in here and not on the counter.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the water to boil, and this is heating up really well. So now, while we are waiting for that to boil and that to mix in, so while Joey is folding, I am going to be shucking. This is how we shuck corn. You just take an edge and you rip off one shuck at a time.
I have a
One
song
husk
for
at a
this.
time.
I have a song for this.
So do I. I did it one husk at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime.
Well, that's not the song I was thinking of.
And then, see, like there's little hairs and stuff. You just take your hands like this, twist it like this, and it works out most of the little tiny pieces and whatever you can pick out of there. And looks like we lost some of it up here, but that's okay.
Would you like to hear my song?
Just dump it right in there. Sure.
Okay. This is the way we shuck the corn, shuck the corn, shuck the corn. This is the way we shuck the...
This is the way we shut your mouth early in the morning.
I am not a certain person we always love to talk about. I'm sure the viewers probably are wondering. They're probably
We
wondering.
just do it one leaf at a time, one husk at a time. And
Sonic?
yes.
I do believe our mac and cheese is mixed in quite well.
Perfect.
If you want to get a good view of this lovely cheesy goodness, look at all that. Oh, ho, ho.
It is cheesy, it is macky, it is macky, cheesy, oodles of noodles and meaty, beany. You know what? Screw it. You know what it is.
At this point, it's mac and cheese in a meaty, beany mess.
Mouth-watering mess.
Mouth-watering mess. Thank you.
Okay, now, the next step. Now that the corn is in the water, we are going to take the noodles.
Let me get
take
this
a spoon, and we're just going to...
Carefully.
Now, some of them might not have been touched with as much cheese as the other noodles, but that's the beauty part of stirring all of this in with the chili and the meat and the brisket and the barbecue sauce.
2 things of beans and brisket that we added in. We added a bottle of barbecue sauce.
And all of that is just going to come together beautifully.
We did lose a few strays on the oven here, but no problems.
Alright, that is good enough. Okay, put this over here. And pick up these little stragglers here.
Okay, let me just wipe this off of here. Probably not the best idea, but that's
Okay, now, give me that other spoon.
Whoops!
What we're going to do
Here we go.
is we're going to do like stir fry. We're going to take both spoons and we're going to bring what's on the top down to the bottom, what's on the bottom up to the top, until we have stirred in our mixture of oodles, of noodles, of beans and meat and mouth-watering, messy goodness.
Without getting it on the stove. But if it does happen that way, you know, it's part of the hazard of mixing. It just happens, so we all roll with it.
Now you know your mixture is fully mixed when every bit of noodle has been graced with barbecue sauce and meat and bean. Oh goody, now we are talking. Now look at that, look at that. Mmm.
That looks glorious, Sonic.
Doesn't it though? This is fantastic smelling. Wait till you try this, folks.
Oh gosh, I can smell it, and I'm standing all the way over here on the other side of you.
Alright, that's...
And actually, I gotta get closer to this if you don't mind.
Yes, indeed. Smell away.
Oh, it is good.
It's so good you can want to just bury your head in it and just start munching away, but hold yourself. It still has to cook the rest of the way. We're going to turn you up a bit now because we need to boil right away. So we're going to let this corn cook. We're going to let this stay warm at a gas mark 3.5 or 3 1/4. And we're going to let this keep warm while this is boiling, and then after about 15 or so minutes, the corn will be done. That will be done. And we're going to have oodles of noodles of beany, meaty, melt in your mouth, messy goodness. And it's going to hit your taste buds where it's going to hurt. In a good way. We are done. Look at this mess. This oodles of noodles and beany and meaty, melt in your mouth mess. And look at that corn. That is some done corn. I say we call this recipe cooked. Let's serve it. Here is a plate, and here is a spoon. We're going to use the spoon to serve up the mess onto a plate. There's plenty to go around, so I'm going to serve
No
up.
bowls used here. It's going to go on a plate. It's the mess.
It's the mess. And I made a little mess there. Okay, so now that's going to require me to get a set of tongs. A set of tongs.
Tongas.
Tongas. I'm just going to reach right in and grab myself an ear of corn.
Dry off a little.
Shake off
it.
some of that excess water.
Shake it, shake it. You won't break it, break it.
Don't shake
And
too
then-
hard, you might drop the corn back into the pot.
That we don't want. Okay, so here we have our mess and our corn. Let's give a taste test to the mess to see if this mess really holds up in your kitchen. Oh, this smells so good. Wow. It's creamy, yet barbecuey, with a bite. And you get the mixture of meat with bean and noodles and cheese. This actually tastes really good. I'm impressed. I still need to give a good name to this. So should we stick with the name Oodles of Noodles in a Beany, Meaty, Melt in Your Mouth Mess? Or should we call it something simple? Should we call this just the mess? Because it actually doesn't seem to make much of a mess when you eat it.
You were right. This is perfect.
Now, it's not really goulash since it's not an Italian sauce with a mixture of noodles like goulash is.
American goulash.
Southern goulash.
Southern goulash.
Southern goulash. Southern goulash.
We can roll with that one and let the
Yes.
viewers
Yes.
also come up with it.
No,
something.
no. I like that. Southern goulash. Let's call it that. That's perfect.
Southern goulash. Short, simple, and to the point.
Okay, we come up with a name for this dish. And I hereby dub the Southern Goulash. And that's exactly what I taste. The southern goodness of barbecue sauce and meat and beans that you get from the Southwest. The creaminess of the mac and cheese to add to it to make it taste more goulashy. Therefore, a perfect name for this dish, Southern Goulash. All right here on Cooking with SonicBlu. Now, remember, if you don't have the barbecue baked beans that we had, you can always make it yourself by just getting some barbecue sauce and a can of baked beans. Put that together, chop up some brisket, put that in there, mix it with some ground turkey, and mix in the mac and cheese just like we did. You can just mix it all together just like we did from ingredients that you can pick up in the grocery store. And it's very easy to make, and it feeds a lot of people. It goes a long way. Didn't cost that much to make, and yet you have a meal fit for a king of Texas, maybe. Does Texas have kings? No, they don't have kings. But hey, we've got you Southern Goulash, and that's just what it is. I mean, look at that. He's already finished his. He is standing here eating all of his Southern Goulash, and he's going to come back for more. There is plenty more to go around. That's the beauty part of this type of recipe. You can take a lot of ingredients, mix them together in a big pot like that, and there'll be plenty to go around. And plenty for leftovers. So, from the Cooking with SonicBlu, this is SonicBlu Dark Volta and Joey telling you, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good.
Guess what? The porcelain gods are going to adore us for all this bean, all this bean goodness.
Well, we'll try to hold ourselves in that department, but
More like with Sonic here. Might want to get over here quick so you can fill your cars.
If you're running low on gas, we got plenty.
that's after I
We'll
eat
have
Del
plenty.
Taco. That's after Del Taco. Oh shoot.
And we have a mess on the floor already, but not too bad.
It's not too bad of a mess, but there we go.
And
Did
it
it
just
shoot
got
you,
powdered. No, it just died.
You got powdered. His eye got powdered.
I got powder puffed.
He got powder puffed with cheese. It's a powder puff oodle of noodle, green, beany, meaty, melt in your mouth mess.
You just keep adding words to this. This is
know.
going to get too long and we're going to have to write it all down and memorize it.
You know, I hate to see what this entry would look like in a cookbook. The whole page is just the title. For the recipe, turn to page 2. Look at all that green hair. Just begging to be shucked out of there.
Please, shuck me.
That sounds dirty.
It does sound dirty. I just realized that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be edited out of the original footage.
My deepest apologies.
We're going to serve it all up, and we're going to call it oodles of noodles of beany, meaty, mouth-watering mess. I'm already messed that up. So join us in about 15 minutes, and we'll show you the way to oodles of noodles of beany, meaty, melt-in-your-mouth, messy goodness. That's a mouthful.
I'm a fire in my laser.